his ideology, and that's why he was under surveillance and with accompanying tactical teams to be able to intervene.
Sitting at home, they'll look at this and say, if he was being surveyed and so closely watched, why were 6 people able to be injured before he was shot? Can you explain that?
This individual is very surveillance conscious, and surveillance teams working with an offender over an extended period of weeks need to maintain sufficient distance for that surveillance to be effective. So they were as close as they possibly could be without compromising the surveillance operation.
So this is someone that has been closely monitored, and so as the Commissioner has said, there was nothing that we're aware of at this point in time to indicate that what he was going to do today was going to happen today. But obviously, because he was being closely followed and watched, they were there at the vicinity in the supermarket at the time that this occurred.
Released from jail. Can you confirm that? And Commissioner, just following on from Jess's question, if this man was on a terror watch list, why was he allowed in the community?
I had prepared a timeline of everything that we know of this individual and his interaction with our agencies and the law. I've been advised that because of suppression orders, I can't share that with you today, but I do undertake to go away and find a way that I can share that with you. I think it's in everyone's best interest that I'm able to do so. I just can't do it right now. Unfortunately, when they're issued by the courts, it's the court's order. So as I've said, I prepared a timeline for you that I wanted to share and I intend to share with you. I just unfortunately need to go through a process before I can.
Following that question, why was someone who was on a terror watch list allowed in the community?
I'm confident that we have done absolutely everything we can within the bounds of the law and operationally to ensure that we could prevent what occurred with this individual, but there was nothing to prevent him being in the community. And we were doing absolutely everything possible to monitor him, and indeed the fact that we were able to intervene so quickly in roughly 60 seconds shows just how closely we were watching him.
When we're in the position to do so, you'll see at every point, every attempt we've made to use the law to the greatest extent we could. The fact that he was in the community will be an illustration of the fact that we haven't succeeded in using the law to the extent we would have liked. That is why he was being closely monitored at all times. And so that is, given he was in the community but being closely monitored at all times, he had a surveillance team monitoring him and a special tactics group that you can see was at the supermarket at the time he was there.
That mosque that's been cordoned, does that mean that mosque that's been cordoned off was also under police surveillance? And I think a lot of people will be concerned about a backlash against the Muslim community. Perhaps you could
that would be wrong. That would be absolutely wrong. The community here has been nothing but helpful and supportive. It would be wrong to direct any frustration at anyone beyond this individual. That is who is culpable, that is who is responsible, no one else. Jane.
Accepting the suppression orders, what can you tell us about the motivations or the ideology?
Violent ideology and ISIS inspired.
A lone wolf actor?
Yes.
You're not looking for anyone else in relation to this?
No.
Prime Minister, can you please go over what you said when you said we're not using the law as much as I would have liked to in this case? What measures would have you liked to see put in place around this individual?
So we've utilised the law as to the full extent we've been able to, I think was the point that I was trying to make. And he was obviously in the community, and as additional protection, we had that surveillance team who was also monitoring him as well.
So this man, was he an ISIS sympathizer?
Well, he obviously was a supporter of ISIS ideology. So however you choose to describe that.
Are there many other people like this in the community? I mean, how many people are there like that?
I consider this is an individual who was known to multiple agencies. A range of efforts were undertaken around this particular individual. There are very few I would classify in this way. Yes, I was personally aware of him. Yes, I was.
Prior to this?
Yes, I was.
Do you have any indication?
Can we just clarify? You said that officers were in the supermarket at the time that the man began his actions against the attack?
They were as close as they could be. They were able to hear when the commotion started, so they were very close by.
Is there any issue with the footage that's being circulated at the moment in relation to them, if they were part of that team? Like, are there any compromised or anything like that?
We would ask media to be responsible about what is published now to protect the identity of our people, but I'm not saying that any of the people in the video are or aren't ours.
Were any of the people injured, were they police officers?
I don't believe so.
No, the people injured are believed to be shoppers.
I'll come to Jane, then back to Tova, and then into the front. I'll need to seek a little bit of advice on that. I also want to check whether or not, how far they extend. As I say, my view is that it's in everyone's best interest to put out all of the information that we have available to us, and all of our knowledge of this individual and his history here, given that you'll see that he's been known to us since 2016.